Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by again. This is Ami Virtue Host and welcome to today's video. Yes, today we'll be talking about things you don't do in Norway. If this is kind of content you're interested in, please make sure you watch to the end because my last point will be the key points, of this video. Thank you so much, and trust me, you understand what I mean. My first point when it comes to things you don't do in Norway, or do not move to Norway or travel to Norway if, number one, you're not keen into learning a new language. So yes, you have to be able to learn a new language if you want to move to Norway, because that's just the key. The official language, like I mentioned in my earlier videos, is Norwegian. Actually, a typical Norwegian speaks good English. That's one thing that I noticed living there for 6.5 years. And unlike other Scandinavian Schengen country, so they speak very good English. If you're a good English speaker, of course you'll be able to communicate in the stores. People will be able to talk with you in English, especially if you're living in a bigger cities like Oslo, Stavanger, Bergen, and all that. I lived in Stavanger. So there are other places too that you can pretty function in English when it comes to just basic communication. It's Kristiansand as well, basic. But other remote areas like, where you found mostly old people in, it may be more difficult for you. But then finding a job, you need Norwegian to be able to survive in Norway, and you really need to speak good Norwegian to be able to fit in properly in Norway. So that can never be overemphasized. That's number one. So if you're this kind of person that you're not really interested, or you're not keen in learning a new language, it's going to be really hard for you. Getting a job and functioning in Norway, you need Norwegian. I Norge, hvis du bor I Norge, du må snakke veldig bra norsk. So you must speak very good Norwegian if you're going to live in Norway. So that is basic. And you must be open to learn. You must be willing to learn. One advice is, if you're moving, you can just learn the basic words, basic communication words. Norwegians are happy to see that you're trying at least to speak Norwegian. Even those words, you're trying to say them as it is. And you'll find out that there's a particular reading in Norwegian language, when you're speaking Norwegian. So you'll be able to follow that reading and be able to flow when you're speaking your words. So that is it for the language. And then my number 2 that you mustn't do in Norway is going to Norway empty-handed. If you want to live, or going to Norway without enough savings. Yes, in other countries, you can come to Canada here if you don't have enough savings and you're able to work, get some money. At least you can get by days. You can get by some days and all that. But that can never happen in Norway. You must come with enough savings. And Norway is pretty expensive as well. So it's very, very uncommon for you to see a rental apartment that is not furnished. Most of them, I'm not saying there are none, but most of their rental apartments come furnished. So it can be pretty expensive. And but if you're buying a house, for sure you can buy a house empty. But I'm talking about renting a home or renting an apartment. Okay, number 3 is expecting to make lifelong friends very easily. Like I mentioned in my earlier videos, Norwegians do not really like talking to strangers. In fact, if you're in a bus with a Norwegian, they will typically carry their bag and put in the next seat. Like, they are not really open to talk to strangers. That does not mean that they don't like strangers or they are rude. No, it's just the way they are. And it's not like the US or Canada where you can see strangers talk to you. Sorry for the background noise, that's my son. In Norway, you find it really hard. Strangers find it, they find it really hard to talk to strangers. So that is how they are. They're a little bit reserved in that area. So yeah, if you're also outgoing and yeah, you're expecting fast friends from Norway, that would be really difficult because they carry along their childhood friend all through their life, and they have this close knitted relationship with their childhood friends. So it's very difficult for them to bring you into that circle. So yeah, they can actually be friends with you, but yeah, not typically like friends. They can talk with you, but what they're actually doing is that they're just displaying a social courtesy, you know, by being nice to you and by talking to you. So not like their friend, no matter how you mingle with them and you expect them to be your friend in a new country, that's really impossible, because yeah, once they get to their home, they typically forget about you. That is Norwegian for you. So it is what it is. So my number 4 is the winter. Yeah, I know I've said that in my very first video on this channel about Norway versus Canada, but I would just say that they have dark winters in Norway, and it's typically long than average. So yeah, that is if you're expected to come to a country where you can't wait for the winter to disappear so the summer will set in, you may be very mistaken and disappointed, because their winter is pretty long, and yeah, it's dark as well. By 4 p.m. it's getting dark already, very dark. In some places where I lived in Stavanger, by 4 p.m. is already dark, yeah, during winters. And yeah, in the morning it's still dark. Even as you're going to work, it's still dark. So there are long and dark days during the winters. So that's something you need to bear in mind. If you're somebody that don't like dark winters, you don't like winter, you just have to think about choosing another country. Yeah, I know some other countries like Canada and other countries where there are winters, it can be a little bit extended, but Norway can be really dark. Even in the northern part of Norway, it's dark all through the winter, and during the summer it's really bright. So yeah, but summers are not so long as well. So yeah, that is it for the winter, and you have to just get used to it. It's not a bad thing. It's not something that will it's not a big deal for most people. You just have to dress right, and yeah, you have these inner wears that are made of wool that you can wear all the time during these winter periods. So yeah, that is it for the winter. And the next big point, yeah, I'm not sure if it will be my last point, guys. Something else may come up. My next big point is being really honest with you guys, and that is, if you have a family and you're coming from a culture where you use a lot of physical or corporal punishments to discipline a child, or you're just used to smacking a child, or you get easily angered or frustrated, or you raise your voice as a child, and you're a parent, or you're a parent or a caregiver or you like using detention or time out for your children. Yeah, time out is part of it. Detention is part of it, guys. Like, it's that serious. Like, Norway has zero tolerance for that. And most people call it adopting a child, and most people even term it kidnapping children. So, and they have zero tolerance for that. If you dare try smacking your child, or you dare try even raising your voice on your child, I'm just telling you the situation. They're not even going to come and speak with you once they find out. And you ask me, how would they find out? These are kids. They go to school, they have psychologists in school that interviews them, talk to them, ask them questions. In one way or the other, they know that you are an immigrant. Your child is an immigrant child, and you are an immigrant parent. They know. So yeah, they will keep asking questions that could prompt your child to say that innocently. And then from the school, guys, this is not funny. Like, it's really serious. It's something I've been looking forward to talk about on my channel. It's that serious. Some parents are being some parents have lost their family because of this. A lot has happened to immigrants in Norway because of this. It's very serious, guys. Like, they will go to the school system, they will go to the school and take your children. Come back home. If you still have one you're still carrying and nurturing, they will collect it from you. That is how bad it is. So do not even try to do not even try. Yes, in Canada, guys, in Canada, the law in Canada says that a parent, as long as you're a parent, you can, there's a reasonable, even though that word has a lot to it, but you are permitted a reasonable force, to use reasonable force, you know, to discipline your child. As long as you're not using an object, you're not harming him, you're not doing, it's a lot to it. Yeah, you can check it out online. Yes, you can discipline a child, you know, use, according to the law in Canada. Yeah, I think section, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, but you're permitted to use a reasonable force. I'm not saying you should smack, I'm not saying you shouldn't smack, guys, but what I'm saying is that the law in Canada, you know, recognizes that a parent can discipline a child. A parent can give a child time out, you know, in a reasonable way. In fact, in a situation where this is not done reasonably, there are classes where they can, you know, talk to you about it, because this is a cultural thing, guys. Some are coming from a cultural background where their parents used this physical punishment to discipline a child, you know. In these cultures, mostly in Africa or even in Asian, like, there is a form of physical punishment to a very stubborn child. Not all children, you know. Yeah, so they recognize this and they know the cultural differences. They understand that some parents may be used to that form of punishment and they don't know any other form, you know. So Canada will try to, like, teach you other forms, like talking to a child, communicating to a child, you know, letting the child see, you know, why he or she should not do this and that, you know, making a child understand that, yeah, there are consequences for some wrong choices or decision, you know. So that is, I'm not going to emphasize this topic. It's a very controversial topic, but Canada recognizes that there are different people from different cultures, and they try to, like, walk along with parents. And reasonable parents understand that. They try to, like, you know, Yeah, obey the law. So, but in Norway, it's not it's not the same. In Norway, they will go to the school, collect that children. If you have 3 kids in school, they will go take the 3 kids. They will come back home. If you still have a baby that is still nursing, they will take the baby from you. They can even give you medicine if you complain that you're breastfeeding. They give you medicine so that the breast milk will dry out, and they give your child to another parent. So I'm not condemning the child protection service at all, but what I'm trying to do, but what I'm saying in essence is that this zero tolerance can be really, really extreme in Norway. And yeah, it's something immigrants should be aware of, because a lot of people reach out to me and say, oh, I want to move to Norway. Norway is wonderful. Yes, I agree, Norway is wonderful one day, but you also need to be aware of this. Like this children protection service, Barnavern, yes, they are doing their job. I'm not condemning them, but be aware that this job they are doing can be really, really extreme, you know. So yeah, that's something to take note of for immigrant parents, because I during my stay in Norway, I felt for a lot of parents that went through this. Some expatriates from their home country, coming from Nigeria to Norway to work in the oil industry, some expatriates, some from India and all that, going, and at the end of the day, going back to their home countries without their children. That's a disaster, guys. It's not something you want to even imagine. It's not something you want to think about. And these children, they don't have access to them anymore. You know, they can visit them, I think, once in a while, but it's really devastating. And some will ask me, so what will these children, what happens to them? What happens to these children? Yeah, they grow up in the foster homes with another parent, and then when they grow up, they can, when they are over 18, they can decide if they want to come to their parents. But guys, most of these children at the end of the day lose connections with their parents. Some can't even really connect with their parents anymore, and yeah, the biological parents typically loses those child. So that is it, and that is a nightmare that happens a lot to so many families, even families from the US. You know, it's something that even if you go online, it's everywhere online, and yeah, really sad. And yeah, there's zero tolerance for that. So you have to be careful when you're in Norway, and you have to be able to apply wisdom. If you're a Christian, you pray to God to give you wisdom to be able to train those kids, you know, and be able to, yeah, follow the law, and ask for children that will listen to you when you talk to them. You have to build communication with your children. You have to talk to your children a lot. You have to communicate with them, and for them to be able to listen. And yeah, even time out, detention. You know, in North America here, even parents use detention. You know, parents use time out for very naughty children. Yeah, and it works, because no child wants to, when you have talked severally and the child is not listening, no parent wants to leave their child to keep doing things, you know, that doesn't work for him or them. So yeah, so that is it for that. Just be aware. I'm saying that can never be overemphasized. I keep saying that again. They have zero tolerance for that. There's another story of a parent that smacked a child in the public, and it was the neighbor. It was the neighbor that called up the children's services, and they picked up the 5 kids. So even if you smack just one, your 5 kids are taken from you. And even if you decide to go to the hospital to give birth, if you decide to go to the hospital to give birth to another child again, probably if you manage to survive that with your spouse and you decide to give birth again, they will come to the hospital there and pick up that newborn that you just gave birth to. It's as serious as that, guys. So if you're moving to Norway, you have to be aware of these things. These things are real, and a lot of families are being a lot of families are broken, a lot of families, and at the end of the day, the sad thing about the whole thing is these children are taken from their biological parents in the name of protection and given to other parents, you know, foster parents to take care of them. At the end of the day, you find out that these children turn out to become drug addicts. They turn out to become a lot of things, you know. Some turn out to be drug addicts, some turn out to be traumatized and all that. So, like, guys, what do you think? Yes, I know that there are some cases where these measures are really necessary. In the case where parents are a bit abusing the child, or maltreating, parents are doing some things maltreating the child, or parents are drunks, parents are addicts. They are not able to take care of their child. They are being able to take care of their child. Those children are suffering and all that. I think these measures are okay, you know. And in some cases in Canada here, they take these children to your relative, where you can, another, if you have a relation, you know. So like, and they try to work with families here in a way that are better than what I found in Norway. Like, Norway is zero tolerance. They don't ask questions, they don't investigate. From what I've heard from devastated parents, you know, they don't ask questions. And these people that they take their children from are normal parents, like educated parents, parents that are well established, parents that regular parents, you know, that are looking out for these children, that love these children so much. And you know, it is what it is. So you just have to be careful, try to obey their laws, and yeah, try to do your best. That is all I have to say. Guys, this is actually in my own opinion, you know. I just think there should be a little bit, this is a very sensitive issue, and there should be a little bit of balance. There should be a little bit of follow-up tutorial classes for these parents, rather than just adopting this child for life. So it's really devastating, and yeah, that's what I think. There should be a little bit of follow-up classes, you know, lectures for this parent, because these are parents coming from different backgrounds. Some are not even really aware, because I was opportune to speak with one parent in Bergen, and she was like, the husband is an expatriate in the oil company there, and she had no idea about all this, you know. Like, yeah, of course, she has an idea that there is you're not meant to you're not supposed to punish a child or use a corporal form of punishment for a child, but she has no idea that even smacking is part of it, and even detention is part of it, and even time out is part of it, and all that. So there should be tutorials, there should be follow-up, there should be classes, you know, rather than just going to the school system, you know, and just abducting these children. And guys, like, which kind of punishment is it? Like, for a family that I knew, after taking their 5 children, this woman in her 40s managed to go give birth again in the hospital, and then they came to the hospital to take that child again. Like, don't you think that those parents have already learned their lesson? You know, taking that newborn again, is it a form of protecting that newborn? Like, it's devastating, guys. Most homes, parents that I've spoke with that have gone through this are devastated and all that. So yeah, it's something you have to be aware of if you're moving to Norway. Norway especially, so be aware of that. And there's a lot going on, and I just think it's yeah, that's all I have to say. Disclaimer, don't come for me, please. I'm saying my own opinion from my experiences in Norway and experiences of immigrant families in Norway. So please, I hope you enjoyed this, and these are the 5 basic points you don't ever do when you come to Norway with your family, with those your precious kids, you know, that means a whole world to you, that means a lot to you, that you have nurtured, that you have cared for, that you have labored the labor room. You don't want to lose them. You know, it's a disaster. Emotionally, you may not be able to survive that. So it's a lot. And yeah, I think it's something you have to be aware of before you move to Norway. So yeah, these are what I need to let you know. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in again today. I appreciate that you stopped by. Please, if this video gives you or your family member or your friends top-notch information or things people don't really like to talk about, you know, the honest truth. Yes, we know that Norway is an amazing country, but yeah, this information is really important that people are aware about that. If this video have added value or information to you, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel. Don't leave without subscribing. Please, I see that a lot of people come to view those videos about Norway. People want to, this is not to scare you to move to Norway. Norway is a fantastic country, you know, but just for you to be aware about that, just for you to be aware, because the cultural differences and things you're not really aware about can make you lose your children, and that would be really devastating for you. So yeah, throughout my stay in Norway, I didn't get into any of that at all. Yeah, you have to apply wisdom. You have to be very careful. You have to pull your children close to you, talk to them, communicate with them, let them understand your signs. You know, when you talk to them, it will help a great deal. So thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate your stopping by. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please support me in this channel. Hopefully we are looking forward to grow this channel. Thank you guys for the 100 subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. Don't be too negative. Comment below, and yeah, have a wonderful and fantastic week, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.